Thank you. It's great to get to this point with everybody. I know some of you, and I hope you will get to know all of you a lot better over the next couple of years. My name is Martha Covell. I'm from ECA Community Interest Company. My colleague Catherine Bartlett also. We're our town planners for our sins, but this is the nice bit of our job where we create neighbourhood plans and create policies which really reflect what communities want. So we have been appointed by the working group to provide the technical assistance on the plan, and so we'll be doing that for the next 2 or 3 years, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in. My able assistant here, that I'll be waving at. Next one, please. David. Brilliant video, I think, much better than I could explain it. I think neighbourhood planning has moved on massively since I started working in neighbourhood planning about 4 years ago now. So we've got a lot more support out there. There's loads of stuff on the web if you're interested in knowing a bit more about it. I've just got a few slides, try not to bore you too much about next steps and what we're going to do here in Boscombe&Pokesdown. So it all started in 2011 under the Localism Act, where the government provided the legislation so we could prepare neighbourhood plans. It's a formal group which is now recognised by Bournemouth Council. It was adopted as a forum able to do neighbourhood planning in May 2016. Why do a neighbourhood plan? Well, without a neighbourhood plan, when you get a planning application or a notification on your doorstep, it's often a very reactionary process. You can often feel quite angry, quite hopeless, don't know what to do about it. And I think if you have got a neighbourhood plan and you've already got a policy in place that you know how you're going to think about planning applications, and hopefully with those policies in place, developers will have a look at that before they put a planning application in and work together to create planning applications which are acceptable to the community. So the idea of a neighbourhood plan is to really have a plan-led process in place. The other thing about planning applications is that they're often determined in accordance with strategic policies, so policies for the whole of the borough. The Bournemouth plan has got some policies which are particularly relevant to Boscombe&Pokesdown, but some of them aren't. And the whole thing about us preparing a plan is that we really focus on the issues that are important in this particular area, and that we have planning policies to reflect that. I think what's been really important where we've worked on other neighbourhood plans is that developers can come to the forum. There's one voice for the whole community. You're united in representing or attempting to represent the views of the people. That can be a really powerful negotiation tool when you've got big planning applications coming in the area. Developers can come and talk to you on a pre-application basis. That's a really good relationship to develop with big landowners in the area in particular. And what's really significant is, at the end of the day, it's all about money, really. If you've got a neighbourhood plan in place, up to 25% of money that is raised in the area from developments, we get a say in how it's spent in this particular area. You may or may not know that when a planning application is granted, it attracts money called CIL, Community Infrastructure Levy. It was introduced in Bournemouth in March, I think it was. And so once the plan is made, the forum has a say in up to 25% of that. It can be quite a significant sum of money, and we can then choose where that money is spent. We'll have a list of projects at the end of the plan process. One project might be, for example, Better High Street, and that money will go directly into projects that you want to see. We're really conscious that there's loads going on in the area already. We've got loads of partners. I think Harry's identified about 60 or 70 partners. They've all got projects and programmes and investment projects going on. It's brilliant. What we want to do is hook onto all that and have planning policies which actually can help implement those programmes. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel. It's there. There's lots of great stuff going on already. We very much want to hook onto that as well and provide support for that. That's not really good, is it? Okay. So there are about 8 stages to developing a neighbourhood plan, and it will take us a couple of years, I'm afraid. And what we intend to do at the end of each of these stages is to have a meeting like this and go out to consultation on each of the stages. We'll be doing that through the website, we'll be doing that through face-to-face meetings, we'll be doing that through online surveys and also sort of workshop style stuff, a bit like tonight. So every 3 months or so that we hope to be ticking along on that sort of pace really. Behind the scenes we're doing a lot of work on technical stuff that we need to get done. So we're at stage 1 at the moment, which is basically finding out from everybody what's important in the area, what do we really want to focus on, what are our issues and options. So we've come up with a vision, and can you read this? No? I was going to say I'd leave you to read it, but I'll read it for you. We've got 3 things that we're currently consulting on. These are on the website, and we've got a very detailed online questionnaire that we want some feedback on. This is the vision that has been prepared by the working group, and it's an overall statement about what we want the area to be like in 20 years' time. The vision of Boscombe&Pokesdown Neighbourhood Plan for the area in 20 years' time is to provide a desirable place to live, work and visit by creating a well-connected, prosperous, multicultural, healthy and safe neighbourhood, encouraging high-quality, sustainable development which integrates with the social and historic fabric of the area and creates good facilities for the community. It's a bit wordy, I'm afraid. I don't know if anyone's got any comments or questions as I'm going along. Please do stick your hand up. So out of that, we developed some themes. These are like the main headings that we're going to be looking at, the topic areas. And what we really want to do, while you're sitting there thinking and looking at this, what are you really interested in? And maybe just start to think about how we can have some really detailed discussions about these sort of things in the area. So the first theme is housing. Big issue in relation to family housing, houses of multiple occupation, bedsits, supportive housing. And on our online questionnaire, we're asking people whether they want to see more or less bedsits in the area, more family housing in the area, less supportive housing potentially. If we are allowing new development, should there be as many one-bedroom flats that we've seen particularly developed in Boscombe? We will get those answers to all those questions, and that will start to help us formulate some policies on housing which are particularly relevant to the area. And when planning applications come into the area, they'll be determined on the basis of the policies that you've prepared in relation to family housing, for example. So the second theme is access and movement. I'll run down these a bit quicker and go into a bit more detail in a minute. The third is the High Street. Pokesdown has got a particularly important character. It's got some historic shop fronts that need to be preserved and enhanced. And obviously the Boscombe retail offer needs to be looked at as well. Employment and creative industries. A lot of people are looking at this. Bournemouth 2026 is looking at it in particular, providing creative industry space. But there's a lot of opportunities in Boscombe and Pokesdown for that. Looking at crime and the fear of crime, that's particularly come from consultation with the younger people, and it's a real priority as well for the Boscombe Regeneration Partnership. And heritage and conservation really overhangs all of this. We have fantastic heritage in the area, and there is a real potential to preserve and enhance that. So, yeah. Sorry.
Can I just ask a question? One of the things that I love most about living in Boscombe is our open spaces and our beach and our leisure facilities. That's brilliant for me.
Yeah.
How is that reflected in those things, please?
It will be, it's a good point actually. I think it's very much in the access and movement as well as in the heritage and conservation. But it's maybe something which we could reflect more in that.
I think particularly for flat dwellers, having the open spaces that we do and protecting and enhancing those is
Okay.
really important.
Yeah.
It's certainly important for what we've got now.
Yes, absolutely. It's probably it's definitely in there, but maybe we need to sort of promote that a little bit more. So that's fine. I'm sure Paul's making a detailed note of all this. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
And then community energy, please. And you've got conservation, which is great, but we actually need to produce energy in a clean way, as you know. And also growing fruit and nut trees and medicinal herbs, things like that, which would be very helpful in the area.
Yeah.
As we get, we need to really look at how we supply each other.
Yeah.
Because as time goes on, I'm sorry to say with climate change, it is changing.